Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
I really am anxious to work with a part, and I'm also nervous that I'm going to get blocked like I did last time, and we're just going to end up in the same place. But I had a performance. I sang last weekend, and I did some parts work during the day leading up to the performance, and I was able to really relax the part of me that is terrified of getting it wrong, and especially when I don't know what I'm doing, or just the feeling that I don't know what I'm doing and I'm getting it wrong and I'm going to get it wrong. I was able to really calm that one down, and that helped. But because that one was calm, I was very, very aware of this other one that plays a role in not just in my singing, but all of my communication with others. And it gets in the way of singing well, but it also, even just talking can lead to a lot of vocal fatigue. And I think it contributes to the difficulty sometimes people have in understanding me.
Okay. So this part's involved in that?
Yeah, it's a part that seems to be very, its job is to reach the other person.
Yeah.
And it seems to have a component of constricting me in order to do it, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but that's what it feels like. It feels like the metaphor that comes to mind, but it's not, because it's like a tube of toothpaste. If a tube of toothpaste had openings everywhere, where you squeeze the tube and then everything comes out. So it's like a squeezing that results in a reaching, or it's simultaneously squeezing and reaching.
And depleting you.
Yeah, constricting. I can't. So, it's very clear when I'm singing because I can't breathe, because my whole insides are collapsed in. And I can feel even now when I'm talking, there's this tension in my throat as I'm trying to get this across to you, because it's important to me. And the more important it is, the more constricted I get. And the more the energy is like forced out, and I'm like, my whole posture changes, my chin lifts and my neck comes out, and like everything is about reaching the other person.
Okay. I told you last time that I would try to remind us to follow up with a part, and this to me sounds like it could be related to one of those parts that I intended to follow up with, which is the gets things done through frustration part.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's interesting. Okay. No, like, okay, so, and the singing thing is a great chance to differentiate between these parts, because when it's like a cascade. So I start to, if I'm performing, this comes in and constricts, and then all this tension and reaching and over effort and overworking happens. And then the singing goes off. And then the like, I'm getting it wrong, I don't know what I'm doing, one gets super activated. And I can't focus on that because the other one is so externally focused. So I can't deal with what's happening inside of me. I start to dissociate, and then, but I'm performing. So then the push through part will come in and just push through. But at this point, it's not about reaching anybody. It's just about pushing through. It's different. It's not about reaching connection, response, getting through to you. It's just getting it done, getting it over with. To the other side, getting it over with. Yeah. Yeah. Just fucking doing it.
Yeah.
So it has a different kind of thing going on.
Okay. So the constricting part is working really hard to get the voice out, get the message out. The terrified of getting it wrong is reverberating with that part about thinking that it's not doing it right. And then the frustration comes in and kicks it all through.
Yeah. And the good news is, because I calmed the not getting it wrong part. Basically, like, yeah, we don't know what we're doing. We're going to get it wrong. It's okay. Okay. Yep. We do not know. We're going to go out there and get it wrong. And I just had my hand on my heart, because it was like, that's the one where my heart is pounding out of my chest. And I was, because I was able to calm that one and just kind of notice and be with the other one, I maintained enough self-energy to not completely go off the rails, and the push through part did not have to come in. So I was able to not have to go there, which was better. But it was this very effortful performance. It was really tense and effortful, and it wasn't bad. It was fine, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't loose. It wasn't relaxed. And then I was able to see, like, oh, I'm doing that. That's not just about singing. Like, I'm doing that whenever I'm trying to communicate something that feels even the least bit important to me.
Yeah. And is that the part you'd like to focus on?
Yes, that is the part.
Okay. So you've mentioned some ways in which you notice it, the constricting.
Constricting and reaching at the same time. It's like an in and up, or in and out. In and out. That sounds like a contradiction, but I know what I mean by that.
Okay. And does it have a location?
No, it's freaking everywhere.
Okay.
No, I was going to say the out. No, it's everywhere. It's in everywhere at once, and it's out everywhere at once. Because it used to, even when I was dancing, when it was dancing, and if I was invested at all in like impressing the teacher, or, sometimes at auditions, if I didn't feel totally comfortable, even my movement would start to have this quality to it. Or I would call it over dancing.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, over singing, over talking.
Yeah. Okay. And you're noticing it right now?
I think I am. In and out. I don't know.
You mentioned it comes up in conversations where you have something important to get across.
It's just that it's tricky, James, and this is part of why I wanted your help with it, because I'm getting stuck, because to notice it, I have to turn inward, and it is entirely externally focused. And so it's like I lose it the moment I'm paying attention to it, because it's out here.
Okay.
And so as I'm trying to talk to you, I'm aware of it. And then as soon as I try to turn towards it, I lose it. That makes sense?
It does. Yeah. It's that definitely sounds like a challenge. Do you have any suggestions?
It's in the communication with you that I can feel it.
Right.
And so that's why I just keep talking, because as I'm talking, I can notice it.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to take a snapshot of it to, I don't know, you could map it, you could put it on paper somehow, or some other way to externalize it as a concept, or
It feels like when I turn towards it, now I'm just remembering it, but I'm no longer. And then as soon as I start talking, I can feel it.
Maybe we could keep looking at.
Can we do direct access instead of insight?
We can try, sure.
Sorry, totally cut off your thinking. What were you going to suggest?
Great. Well, the first thing I was going to suggest is, do you have any suggestions? So if that's what comes up for you, then thank you.
I do, Jay. You know what? Funnily, I do.
That's great.
Suggestion.
Okay. I'd
can
love
you hear
to talk to this part.
my voice? Like, it's really interesting, because can you hear it? The tension in my voice when I was working with that exile a few sessions back, there, there's just like this open, like it gets lower and rounder, and you can hear me like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to chat with this part.
Cool.
I'm super curious.
Good.
Okay. So, part.
Yeah.
Do you have a name that you'd like for me to use to address you?
It keeps coming up. I'm the reacher. I'm reaching.
Okay, great.
I'm the reacher.
Yeah. And it sounds like your goal is to reach people, to get a message across in conversation or verbally or tonally, right?
Yeah, it's not about language. I mean, it impacts language, but it's just about expression, and like reaching the other person with the whole of it, the feeling, the meaning. Yeah, it's more about like feeling and meaning, and yeah.
So it's really important for you to get the feeling and the meaning across to people.
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like an important job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're using a lot of energy to do that?
Yes.
Yeah. And you feel like you're in tension, fighting with other parts sometimes around that too.
I'm thinking about that. Am I fighting with other parts? I'm not aware of that.
How about the terrified of getting it wrong part?
That's its own problem.
Okay. So it
Sometimes,
has a problem with you, but you don't necessarily have a problem with it.
Well, no, I mean, sometimes we're really alignment because the thing that I need to get right is reaching the other person. That happens a lot when these, like, I didn't even know that these were two different parts until I really looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the fear of getting it wrong part and the reacher, we're like actually on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
It's really only in singing. I'm trying to think if there's any other time when we're in conflict. Singing might be one of the only times that we're in conflict.
Yeah. Okay.
Because getting it right as a singer is an internal process.
I get that. Okay. Yeah. All right. And how long have you been in this role? How long has this been important for you to work for in this way?
Since infancy.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a baby like do this thing? See, this is the problem. I'm glad we're on the phone, but every once in a while, I'm like trying to show you something. You can't see me. And this is very in keeping with this part. I'm like trying to show you. Like babies will make this face where like their neck reaches out and their lips almost reach out. Like everything's like, sorry, I'm trying to show you and you can't see. I just get an image of a baby doing this thing.
Yeah.
That feels very much like what I'm doing.
Yeah. What does it want?
To reach mommy.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like that when you're singing? Does it feel like that in other conversations? Like that's that kind of core desire is still in there and maybe not being met?
Yeah. And what just came to me that like adds a little depth to that, around richness to it, is to reach her, to bring her close, right? Like to bring her to me, towards me, to have her come close.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which makes sense why live streams are really hard for me. Mm-hmm. Because like I'm reaching and there's nothing there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to reach, to come close. That's what I'm trying to have happen.
Yeah.
As a result of the reaching.
And if you don't work so hard in that reaching, then the other person may not come
reach
close.
Her. Yeah, I don't reach her. And then she won't come. Yeah.
Sounds really valuable.
Except I'm not sure her coming ever had anything to do with what I was doing. You know, moms come when they can, you know.
I'd like to hear more about that. Just about your thoughts around that.
Well, I'm just making some sense out of the need to constrict while reaching. Like the need for her to come close. I mean, you need her to come close all the time, you know. Doesn't have to be when you're in distress, But in particular, if you're in distress, you need her to come close. But my distress tended to push her away. So I had to suppress the distress, but still reach her somehow.
Uh-huh.
So I can just kind of feel that, like, the reach that's desperate and urgent, but can't express what's actually inside. Somehow I have to reach for her.
For fear of pushing her away more.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
For fear of pushing her away more by doing it wrong in a way, right? Like there's a right
Sending
way
the
to
wrong
reach.
signal.
Yeah.
Expressing the wrong thing.
Yeah. What a complex thing for an infant to be trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And I imagine, I heard you say that, oh, this constriction maybe doesn't help or whatever, but it must have helped somewhere, sometime, right? There must have been some reason or way in which this worked. Even if the only way was helping the system feel like I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can just feel the, like, urgency, the like, desperation doesn't feel like the right word. It's like just a depth of need.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a really deeply felt need, but I can't. I have to express it in this, like, just narrow way, this constricted way.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious. Earlier, Rosie was saying that she was having trouble catching you, noticing you. Do you know anything about that? How you stay out of her
No,
direct
it's
contact?
that I can't notice her. I can't be connected with her. I'm out here getting who's out here to come close.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to almost ignore her so she can notice me, but I can't connect with her. Like, part of my job is to ignore her, or just, not to be concerned with her.
Mm-hmm.
The need is out here.
Yeah.
So she can, look at me all she wants, but, like, I've got my eye on the prize out here,
Right. We talked about the need being maybe connected with this inner infant. And I'm wondering if, I'm just thinking about the infant's needs. And I understand that, drive to get them that you have. And of course, just wanting to introduce the idea of Rosie meeting with the infant and helping with those needs, and what you think about that.
I was having the same thought, it's coming from a different place.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe my therapist part, right? Who knows this model and knows that like the answer is for me to come close, right? For Rosie to come close.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of just doesn't compute, I think, for this part.
Yeah. Is there a lack of trust?
No, it's just so young. The whole framework, the idea of not needing it out here just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I think this is part of where I'm stuck, because like it would need to have an experience of it. But I can't quite get in there to give it the experience.
Okay.
It's not like when it's super activated, it can't even take me in.
Yeah. What would it rather be doing if it didn't have to?
It's interesting. The first thought I had was something about how, I don't know. I lost that thought actually. At first there was like an argument, but then it was like, no, then it would just be concerned with being lovable, but like not in a trying to reach the other person way, just like in here, like, I don't know how to explain that. Words aren't doing very well.
There's an internal lovability.
Yeah.
That it could see itself resting in.
Right.
That sounds nice.
Like, turning towards what's lovable within me.
Turning towards what's loving in you?
Lovable.
I know. I was just offering that reframe.
No, that doesn't fit.
So this part is seeking what's lovable in you. As that's its idea of, that's how it sees itself relaxing, if it could.
It was more like, well, if I didn't have to do this, that would mean that I would already know and feel I could access that inside. Mm-hmm. That would mean that I would not have to look for it out here. Like by definition, you're saying,
right.
Not looking for it out here means that I don't have to anymore. So that would mean that I would know it on the inside somehow.
Okay. And how is your experience of Rosie's appreciation or love for you?
Well, maybe that's part of the problem, is that I think Rosie's starting to appreciate something about me, but there are definitely other parts that are more focused on the problem of me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard for Rosie to love me.
Because of these other parts that are focused on the problem.
Yeah. The difficulty I cause, or the inappropriateness of needing that so much as an adult.
Sure. Yeah.
Mostly right now, just the fatigue that it causes, especially vocally. Even when I'm just talking, like at the end of the day, I'm hoarse, I'm tired.
Right. And so you're not getting that appreciation because of all these byproducts or other parts that are sick of you, or fatigued, or just seeing those difficulties.
Yeah. And it's almost like, so I have enough self to kind of be in here. And it's like the part kind of like, what I just got from the part was like, yeah, and I see why, which is like part of the problem, right? Is that like this part is pretty convinced that she's not all that lovable as she actually is. So there's just this effort and this reaching and this need for a response. And and like an intentionality to everything that's put out there.
Yeah.
Can't just flow, can't be relaxed.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right, that I'm not all that lovable.
When I might not have been explicit about it, but was this part noticing my appreciation for it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Because I've definitely seen babies with their necks out, reaching and wanting.
It's like the upper lip almost is reaching. Like there's an O shape.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think without that, I think a lot more babies wouldn't get what they need. I think that that dynamic, I think that there is maybe a belief that this part has about how effective it is, that I might push back on in a way, again, that I think is my way of showing appreciation, which is, oh no, this might be really effective and might be critical for all infants, some infants, to secure what they need.
Yeah, especially if you can't get it by crying.
Right. Right. And as an infant, it's life or death. So it might be, I mean, this part that I imagine is in each of us to some degree might be sort of responsible for like the survival of the species.
Oh, well. Especially if mom really struggled to be with your distress.
Right.
When expressed in other ways.
Right. And like I was saying before, even if it was futile effort, if it was able to send the message internally of like, okay, I'm out of ideas. This is what I'm trying. We need to exile this part and that part. I need to fight in this way and that way. And if that's how balance is brought to the system, or at least surviving is brought to the system, emotionally surviving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about like, pursuers and withdrawers and couples work and like, a baby that like gives up, and how fucking sad that is when the baby's shut down because nobody is coming. Yeah. Right. And like, at least this part like doesn't give up, whether it always works or not. Like this is the part that like keeps trying.
Yeah.
Hasn't given up on getting the need met.
Yeah.
But it has to do it in just the right way.
Sure. And then there's these parts that say, well, now as an adult, that's dumb. That's not going to work. And, yeah, those parts could just be wrong. But
I just got a flood of compassion for how hard it is to have to
Mm-hmm.
You know, express it in just the right way.
Right. Yeah, it's too important to get it wrong.
Just feel really sad.
Mm. Where's the sadness coming from? What's that about?
I mean, I think it's a combination of the parts sadness and having to get it, having to work so hard and get it just right,
Mm-hmm.
and not be just be expressed, right? Like, just there's something sad about that for the part, but I mean, I just feel sad for it. I just feel sad. Like, that's sad.
Yeah.
It's just that is sad.
It is.
To have to work that hard.
Yeah.
That early.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah. Work that hard and work with such limited, information.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you don't get to Google it or anything. How's that part? How's it noticing your compassion?
Oh no.
How's it reacting?
I'm not sure. It's all muddy in here.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit like it's turning to me with that need right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how to come close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just inviting it.
Just telling him that I shouldn't have had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a time, if no other time, where you should just get to be whatever you are.
Right.
And live in your need and express your need however the fuck you have to. That's what you should have be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have had to work this hard.
Mm-hmm.
Right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. You okay with feeling all this?
I'm okay with feeling it, but I am nervous about expressing it. There's a little constriction going on. This wants to be a big sob. And I'm not quite letting out.
You don't need to share it with me. There's a mute button.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, thank you. I forgot about that.
All right. Feeling more connected with this part?
It just needed to be able to cry out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Does it feel like it's crying to you? Does it feel like it has a relationship or a start of one there with what that means to be with you?
I'm not sure, James. It's not entirely clear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it definitely turned towards me.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely responded to it. But to some degree, that cry just like wasn't even to anyone. It was just something that needed to come out.
Got it.
And so I'm trying to let it know that
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I don't know if it's receiving me. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, you went from unable to get this part's attention or it to get yours or whatever to it turning to you, and how much more you're noticing it and noticing about it, at that compassion that you have for it, that obviously the emotion that is connecting between the two of you.
Yeah, something. I mean, it's definitely I don't even want to say a start because I think I've been there's been something going on for a while, but it's significant.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's complete, but it's significant.
Okay. What does this part want from you going forward?
There's definitely a sense that I could just spend a little time, weeks or whatever, just really noticing how often this is happening.
Yeah.
If I can, because in the past it's been it's so blended and it's so externally focused that I don't notice it until the fatigue starts creeping in.
Right.
Or I catch myself making an effort. Sometimes I catch it, but it'd be good if I could notice it in a more ongoing way.
Yeah. Got any ideas for what that would look like, or how to facilitate that? Or does this part have any requests?
It's just building off of the increased familiarity with its imprint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's definitely tricky, but yeah.
Before it's just fatigue, right? Like you said.
Yeah. And before it's become so externally focused that I can't notice it.
Right.
There has to be enough of me there to notice it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just going to see if I can do that for a while.
Yeah. Sounds like a great idea.
Cool. I am noticing this happens a lot to me after I have kind of an explosion of vulnerability or feeling. It got a shaky. I feel very shaky.
Okay.
It always reminds me of when Peter Levine talks about how animals shake after escaping a lion.
They shake off the trauma.
Yeah, it always feels like this, and it just happens when I I don't know, move through big emotion or express. I don't know. It's not exactly clear.
Yeah.
But the shaky thing is happening now.
Okay. Yeah, it could be just a sign of big shifts, big energy, big emotions.
Yeah.
Is it, and maybe I could ask about this whole process, like, just how it's been for you. Like, obviously there's been discomfort in aspects of this, but I'm curious about just your overall experience.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that exactly. Can you narrow the question a little?
The question is about maybe. Okay, so there was discomfort, there was pain in this experience of yours in meeting this part and connecting with this part, and I'm curious about
that's okay.
Like how bad was it?
No.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
And the shakiness and all of it.
No, that's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm in a weird state now.
Okay.
Like I'm not super able to put a thought together.
It's all right. It was a weird question.
No, I think if I were more
you don't need to put your thoughts
I'm just
together
disconnected
for me.
from my verbal brain right now. Like and not just verbal. I can't put thoughts together very well.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, well, right. We started with this problem of this part that works so hard to make sure that you can reach people and that they can get what you're saying. And it's
I just didn't even try.
Now.
I'm like, fuck
you're
it.
not,
I can't.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at that. That's true. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just don't have it.
Great.
Yeah. No, it's good. I wasn't sure, I get blocked so often in trying to connect with parts. And I knew that this one would be tricky to connect with because of the little like catch-22 of it. So I'm just really glad that anything happened.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure exactly what did because I feel kind of disoriented, but something.
Yeah. And you have this somewhat tentative plan of revisiting with this part and getting more clarity about it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you in 3 months when you're free again. I
will make time sooner for that, and I will contact you when that time is made.
I'm really glad you're busy. It's good, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.